Hello, 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 Briar Rose. Good to see you. Welcome back. It is time for more Art Bite, and I am just getting some last minute things set up so that we can have a little bit of music playing in the background while we draw today. And in order to do that, let me go ahead and switch screens real quick so that I can make sure that the music is showing up, yes, where we want that to show on the UI so that we're giving credit where credit is due. I hope you are having a great day. It is the 15th, which is so crazy to think about because that means we are halfway through the month, and that's halfway through Art Bite. And that to me is just a little bit intimidating. I don't know about you guys. I feel like this whole first 15 days of July, I kept telling myself, it's still early, it's still early, it's still early, and I've allowed myself to fall behind a little bit. And so I gotta say, like, let me bring over the Art Bite page real quick. You can see right here, I have 16 notifications. I keep all of my, I've already looked at and replied to all of these attacks, but I keep all of my attacks in my notifications until I revenge them. And once it's revenged, then I click this little X button to clear it. This just gives me a really good look at how many revenges I owe. I can see right here that I owe 16, which is crazy. I don't remember the last time I fell so behind on my ratio. I'm sitting currently at 33%, so I'm at like 1/3, like exactly 1/3 to 2/3. So 1/3 of my attacks versus 2/3 your guys' attack, which means I got a lot of work to do, you all. And we're gonna start on stream with some revenges. I don't know what you guys are up to this fine, beautiful day. If you are working on attacks, if you're working on revenges, if you're doing bookmarks or mass attacks or friendly fires. But I welcome you to join me for all of that, and hopefully we can make some headway. I know I really need to. That said, I do have the revenge I'm working on right now. There's like this prince character here for one of the revenges that I owe. This one is owned by Cam, who joins our streams pretty often. So if Cam ends up showing up here today, they're in for a surprise, a little bit of a spoiler, because I will be drawing their character as revenge. I did have, here we go. I had a little bit of a reference pulled up on my other screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up, and I think, yeah, the screen color's fine. We can use the screen color just to kind of like map out our pose here. I haven't really been using, even though this is Clip Studio Paint, I haven't been using models at all for Art Bite. I've just kind of like, I used models a lot for my Webtoon entry for the Webtoon contest that I did, and I just felt like maybe, and by that, for anybody who maybe doesn't know, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up so you guys can see it. I recently entered the Webtoon 2025 contest with my webcomic, Love Cursed Queen of Rogues. This is about a steampunk pirate who also is part of the magical class, but secretly part of the magical class because they're kind of unwanted in this steampunk society. They're kind of the black sheep of society, and so she's hiding the fact that she is from the magical class, and she is sort of living this double life as a steampunk piratess and also as a nobleman's daughter who is supposed to be fully human, fully tech abled instead of being magic abled. And there's a whole lore that goes into it, and I feel like it did a really good job storytelling wise revealing that naturally in the plot. So if you want to check that out. It's on Webtoon. It's called Love Cursed Queen of Rogues. But in the meantime, we are working on our Art Bite attacks, and I wanted to make sure I don't get too rusty, so instead of relying heavily on models for this, I've just been sort of eyeballing my references and then coming in here and drawing the characters. So what I kind of want to do here is I want to look at this as like there's hips here. We're going to do like this kind of a posture because I'm going to have like them leaning back just a little bit here. for this character. I'm gonna get, I just want him to, he seems to me, so he's a prince character. He seems very like sort of laid back. He's kind of cool, chill, relaxed. So I kind of want to like lean into that idea a little bit. He's just gonna have like this kind of like cool guy pose going on. We're gonna have this one leg sort of, you're gonna hear the cat like in the background here. This one leg kind of forward. The other one, we're just gonna bring it around here. Kind of like this. And also let me know if the music is too loud, if you're not really hearing it at all, or you know, just anything like that that could be adjusted. I'm happy to make those adjustments as needed, so we will do that. Wow, this is just such a weird shape that I'm doing here with a foot. Let's try to fix that. All we need really is just sort of like this rounded triangle-y shape like this. There we go. And then I'm gonna have this toe kind of pointing forward, which gives us the chance to like bring the foot forward as well, like this. Yeah, so I'm thinking, there we go. I'm not really loving the tilt on the top of this body, so I might adjust that a little bit. Briar Rose, what are we working on today? Are you able to draw right now, or are you, I know it's the middle of the week, it's a Tuesday, right? So you might be at school, you might be at work. So let me know, like, are you just sort of listening to the stream in the background while you do your studies, or are you able to also draw right now? I'm curious like what this time looks like for everybody else. I know for me, it's just kind of like I have the time, I just need to find the motivation to make sure that I am not falling further behind, yet even further behind with Art Fight, which has been tough. It has been tough lately. Not because I'm tired of Art Fight. I do still really love Art Fight. I think that it is a great, really, really great event. I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. I just think that, you know, the real world has been pretty exhausting lately, and it's hard to keep one's energy up, one's motivation up, and all of that stuff. So, just my 2 cents on that. I don't know if this guy has pockets. Does he have pockets? Maybe not. So I don't want to do a hands in pockets pose. Maybe we can do, maybe just kind of like a behind the back pose, you know, like maybe he's just kind of like got the arms kind of tucked behind his back. Kind of like this. And then obviously we just like wouldn't be able to see it on that side, but yeah, just kind of bringing the arms kind of behind him a little bit. And then for the head, I really want it to be kind of full face on. That's just me personally. Briar Rose is in the middle of drawing one of Alreadiash's characters. Oh, that's exciting. I won't tell. Don't worry. I won't spoil it for you. I won't let Alreadiash know. But you're also multitasking by creating a 3D model for a separate attack for the first time. It's your first 3D model? Like you're making a custom 3D model for attacking somebody's character? That's commitment. Custom 3D model just for an attack. I hope they love it. I really do. I hope that they absolutely love what you make. I think that looks about right to me. It's just a very casual pose. I didn't want anything like super dynamic or dramatic. He's just sort of hanging out. This guy's just kind of like chilling, enjoying life as it comes at him, you know. And there we go. We have ourselves a pose. So now I just gotta bring down the opacity a little bit, switch colors here, and go from the pencil, because I was using the mechanical pencil here, to the Real G pen. That's the one that I like. It's got some texture to it. And I'm going to use that to draw the line art. And before I do, because I just realized I haven't saved this illustration at all, we're gonna save this. So this one's gonna be for Cam, so I'll do illustration_Cam and hit save. There we go. And now I just kind of want to look at the character reference to figure out how I want to draw this person. He is an emperor. I kept saying, what did I say? I kept saying like prince. Looking at the bio now, I see that it says emperor. So a little more than a prince, he's an emperor. So definitely a regal character, super regal. It looks like, so the robes are going to be, the robes tend to hide the outfit a little bit, or the body's pose a little bit. Which can sometimes be very forgiving if your anatomy is not like super spot on, but it can also be a little bit challenging too, to be able to find the form of the body if the clothing is kind of hiding it. I'm gonna start with this sash around the waist. I know that like we're not gonna see all the sides of it when the robe goes on, but I'll save the robe to last. I wanna make sure I get the rest of the wardrobe right. And then when I feel confident that that's all in the right place, we'll be able to move on. So it looks like this kind of comes up and wraps around that shoulder. And then this one goes this way. Awesome. Now the undershirt is kind of got this hair-bone pattern. So we're gonna do that. Oops. And I wanna make it a little bit, the lines a little bit thinner because it looks a little more delicate. So we're going to try and bring that in here. And same thing here, like that. There we go. Also, I have not screened the music that I'm playing today. I just kind of like picked a mood in the YouTube audio library studio, and I went with, what moods did I go with? I think it was happy, calm, and let me see. Calm, happy, and inspirational. That was the other one. So hopefully those are the moods that we get when we listen to this music today. All right, I think I feel pretty good about that. So let's keep going. I am gonna create a new layer, and I found that I have a like one of those if I head to clothing brushes, I believe I have like a sort of a knitted ropey brush like the one that goes around the belt, but also he's got this filigree that goes around, like that follows, sort of traces, whoops, that's way too big. Like, I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let's make this a nice pretty gold color, because I'm pretty sure it was gold. Yeah, I'm looking at the reference, it's gold, so we can kind of like, nope, not like that, that didn't do it. Maybe we'll stick with the regular filigree. It's not an exact pattern, but it looks like something he'd wear based on the reference. So I'm gonna go like this. Oh, it's gotta go all the way over, okay. There we go. I think that checks that box. So I'm pretty happy with that one. And just to be sure it matches, I'll even give it a little line art outline. There we go. Now to move on to the rope around the waist. It's kind of a little bit like a braided pattern. I wonder if I can find that same pattern. Maybe. Like these are actual braids. There we go, coil, a coil. Maybe I could do it with a coil. Nope, not the same kind of coil. Alright, that works, but I didn't realize I had the wrong color, so hang on. Because I didn't know it was gonna like auto-fill the color. So let's try that again. And let's make it a size 2. And that's pretty close to looking like what the reference looks like. So I'm gonna go with that. I think that that's pretty good. All right, back to the pin. Because we still have to do like the underskirt, the part that comes out from underneath the sash, and then we can start talking the overcoat, right? The robe that goes over the base layer of clothing. So this kind of comes to like mid-calf, kind of like here. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. And just like that, we have it. And then obviously this has got, it's got a split somewhere because like we have the, we can tell that like the outfit overlaps here. Whoops. I like was off to a good start, but then I like, my hand slipped a little bit. So let's try this again. We can bring this up to meet that. There we go. Perfect, at least I think so. I'm gonna like bring the opacity slightly down for that now so that I can add the robe layer on top. Hello, Keisha, welcome to the stream. Hello, Ram, good to see you both. I'm glad you were able to join us. Let me know how you're doing at your halfway point in the art fight battle. Are you guys feeling confident? Are you nervous like I am that you're falling behind? Because I know I've got like 16 attacks that are due as revenge. 16 revenges, really, if I want to maintain my perfect record of always being able to revenge every person that's ever attacked me. Like, I don't want to give that up. So I really gotta work hard to make sure that I get all 16 revenged from now until the end of Art Fight. And we are halfway through, like halfway already, which is just kind of nuts when you think about it. It's kind of crazy to think that we're so far. I really felt like we had so much more time. Anybody else, or is it just me? Like, anybody else feel like time is just literally leeching away? Ryros says, I was midway into typing about how the chat was so quiet until Keisha's first message popped up. Yeah, it is the middle of the week. I kind of wondered how active chat would be today, considering it is Tuesday. But it is the 15th, and I felt like, you know, we shouldn't sleep on that, you know? It's the midway point, and I wanted to spend some time with it and try to, like, use it as a measuring stick, you know? That's just me. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of where I'm at with all of it. But I'd be curious to hear what you guys think, and how things are going with your art fight so far. If you feel like, you know, you've achieved what you set out to achieve, or are you still working on it? Have you met your goals? Have you adjusted your goals? That's a big one. If you're like halfway through art fight, it's time to like evaluate, like, did I set realistic goals? Do I maybe need to make some adjustments? Do I still feel confident with my plan? Like, now's the time to ask those questions and maybe adjust some of your goals if you feel like they might be a little much for the current art fight season. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no harm in that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you have adjustments that need made, you should feel 1000% encouraged and empowered to make those adjustments. Like, one thing I want people to always know is that you have no obligation to art fight ever. It is always voluntary. It is always at your discretion. And so if you feel like you're letting yourself down, I hope that this reminder helps you to find, to give yourself some peace, to find some peace, and to make peace with the fact that maybe you just gotta make a few adjustments to your plans for this year, and you don't have to go so hard on yourself. It's all about your own personal growth and satisfaction. And, you know, it's so nice along the way to make other people happy with gift art. But ultimately, there's no... Gosh, I feel like I'm beating this point into the ground. You guys know what I mean, right? Like, we're all on the same page here. We all agree. This is purely for fun and purely voluntary. There's no obligations at any point during Art Fight. Sad Ghost, hello! I'm so tired, fam. I've done 52 attacks and have 2 revenges to do today. That is a heck of a record. You were doing so good. I'd be tired too if I had done 52 attacks already. That's so much. In 15 days. 52 attacks in 15 days. Just let that sink in. That is so much. Ram says I'm falling a bit behind. Me too, fam. I am also falling a bit behind. Keisha, I'm working on a revenge for Ram. Ooh, spoilers! Ram, pretend you didn't see that. So that you can still be surprised that you're getting an attack from Keisha. Cam says, I got burnt out for the past few days, but I'm just playing my favorite video game. I have been thinking about doing that, but honestly, I haven't even been able to bring myself to do that. Just because I've been... Speaking of Ram, by the way, I don't know if you recognize this guy in the corner, but here we are. I'm drawing a little revenge art for your OC. I hope you like the one that I chose for my revenge. Sorry, not Ram, Cam. I meant to say Cam. I was talking to Cam because Cam was the last one that left a comment. Welcome to the stream, Cam. But yeah, Art Fight, whew. I mean, video games too. Everything feels hard now. And we've talked about this a little bit in the Discord. Not everybody has, and not anybody is obligated to, by the way. If you don't want to join that conversation because it's just overwhelming, or you don't feel like it applies to you, obviously you don't got to join that conversation. But just saying, like, that conversation, you know, has been in the open on my Discord, and so for those of you that are in Discord, you kind of know where I'm at emotionally and mentally with the world right now, and how that's like affecting my productivity, and like how it's caused me to fall behind even with this Art Fight stuff. It's just been difficult. It's been difficult, and it continues to be difficult. And so my goal right now, speaking of goals, because I was asking you guys about your goals and if you've made any adjustments, I just want to revenge everybody. That is my one and only goal for Art Fight this year, is I just want to be able to succeed in maintaining my record as somebody who always gets my revenge. That's my goal. I hope that I'm able to pull it off. And I honestly... everything else is kind of taking a back seat for me. I'm not really worried about, like, normally I'm like, yeah, my goal is to have at least one of every type of character. I want to make sure I do one animal. I want to make sure I do one mech. I want to make sure I do one monster type, human and anthro. I got to make sure there's at least one. I always do a lot of humans because that's what I'm the most comfortable with. So normally that's like my annual goal, my like sort of unspoken de facto default goal. But right now I'm like, I'm not worried about that. My real only concern is making sure that I get my revenges done, because I don't want to leave anybody hanging, feeling disappointed that they did not get back what was promised. So that's kind of my priority right now. Other than that, everything else can wait. I will set stronger, better, more specific goals next year, assuming next year is a little less, or I would say a little more stable in my day-to-day life, so that I'm able to set and meet those kind of goals. Now it's time to look at these shoes, because this character has some very interesting shoes. These are not your typical tennies. They're like, let's get the bottom of the foot. We're gonna add this level here, and then they've got like these blocks under them. So I'm gonna draw the blocks, like that. And then they've got like thong feet things, so we'll do that. And then the foot comes up like this. There is a pant leg here, so I'm gonna include the pant leg. And then the rest of this will be like a sock, it looks like. So we'll do like that. Super simple. It's not too difficult, especially from the side view like that. This front view might be a little tougher. Cam says, I got burnt out and for the past few days... Oh, I already read that part. Yeah, favorite video games. What video games are you playing, if you don't mind me asking? Are you comfortable with sharing the information? Like telling us what video games you're playing? Promise not to judge. No judgment here. If you're like, oh, I was playing The Sims, I wouldn't judge. I love The Sims. If you're like, I'm playing... I don't know. You could be like, I'm playing Roblox, and I'd be like, that's cool. I've never played it, so I don't know anything about it, but that's cool. No judgment. I feel like I don't really love the shape that I drew for the hem of this pant leg. So I'm gonna try to straighten it out a little bit. All right, now for this shoe, this forward-facing view of this shoe. Let's see if I can do this in a way that makes sense. So we've got like that, I think. You know what? I just realized the toe is on the inside of the foot, not the outside of the foot, so I should really flip this. How do I do that? Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Yes, okay, cool. But that didn't quite look right. Okay, cancel. I think what I really need to do is just move that line like manually. Like this. So now we've got the toe. There we go, in the right place. Who else has done this before, but with like hands? Because I think this happens a lot with hands, where you draw the hand, but it's like you're referencing the wrong one for the hand that you're drawing, and so that the thumb ends up where the pinky should be, and vice versa. Like, because you drew the wrong hand on the wrong side of the body. Anybody else, or just me? Am I the only one who makes that mistake? Because I've definitely made that mistake more than one time. Like, no cap. I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely have made that mistake. I think the idea was there, but the execution was not. Let's bring these blocks down as far as they should be. It's a little better. Maybe a little better. Hopefully a little better. Alright, I am pleased so far with the line art, so now I gotta move on to the face. I gotta get the head on here. Wardrobe's looking good. Posture's looking good. We gotta get up here, all up in the face. And our emperor needs his face, he needs his hair, he needs his jewelry. So here's where we put all the focus for the character's like expression and identity, and I kind of wanted the head to be slightly bigger. I feel like it was a little small. I think that's a little bit better, just maybe a little. So we'll do that. Yeah. Briar Rose says, I'm too conscious about drawing hands to make that mistake, to be honest. I'm always so careful about it. That's smart. That's smart. I definitely should be more mindful. Like, think about it going in so that you're not like unconsciously making that mistake. Kentaro, hello and welcome to the stream. New chatter, what character are we drawing? Yes, we are drawing Camry, who's in the chat. We're drawing their character, Chaparral. Let me bring this down here. You can kind of see, whoops, it didn't come all the way down. You can see here, this is Camry's character. This is the character name, Chaparral. Copied to clipboard, I didn't mean to do that. And we have, that's a reference you can see in my tablet that I'm using. And down here we have our details. So this character is an emperor, extremely cautious with who he lets in his personal life, likes playing koto, painting with ink, poetry, calligraphy, collecting fancy and exotic things, has a sanctuary full of exotic animals. So typical, I would say, emperor stuff. And he's got the look, you know, like I'm buying it. I believe it. I think he's a believable character. And we're just doing a nice little full body portrait of our emperor fellow here. As revenge, because I received an attack and it is time to revenge. Oh man, I kind of wish I'd put the ear, it's okay. The ear, like on this side has the earring and then this side gets like all the swooshy hair. Okay, let me think about this. All the swooshy hair covers this side of the face. All right. So we're gonna have, I don't like that part. We're gonna have this, but also I kind of want to shorten it a little bit to give space for the rest of the hair. So I'm gonna bring this up a wee bit like that. There we go. So that I have room to bring this part here like this. And then what we can do with that is this. We can have like the shape doing shape things. Like this. Perfect. That worked out pretty well for just sort of winging it. I think. Yeah, I think so. And we do have what looks like a piece that kind of comes like this. And then we have like that. That might be a little too tall, to be honest. I think we need to maybe chill it out a little bit, like this. Something a little teensy bit flatter, because it was getting kind of a little too voluptuous, maybe. And then we have ourselves like the rest of the head shape. So let's get that in here. Cam says, I've been playing Warframe and I've made a lot of progress in it lately. I actually don't know what that is, Warframe, but congrats on the progress. It's nice to be able to get further along, to advance a little further in your gameplay. I just, not yesterday, but like I think the day before, I did a live stream on my other channel, my gaming channel, where I was like picking back up an old save of a Stranded Alien Dawn gameplay where I was doing like a family empire bit, because there's like these three sister characters that come with the base game, and I wanted to like play with them and see how well they worked as a team. And it was really fun. It was really fun to take an old save that like I was like, man, I wish I had finished that, you know. I just felt like it kind of fallen to the wayside, because it had. And be able to like be like, well, since I don't have time to record and edit a video, I could live stream it, and that way we continue the challenge, continue the game, and make some progress without having to like keep waiting until I have time to like do an actual recording. And I'm like so happy with that, and I hope like I'm glad for you that you're also making progress and feeling really good about your gameplay as well. All right, let's see, nose, and eyes. Got like these really, really nice eyelashes here, so I'm gonna like really lean into that. I think I made them maybe too high up. Maybe the eyes need to come down a notch. Oh man, I hope I didn't do all of this on the same layer. I usually do like a new layer for faces. Okay, good. It looks like I did that just like out of habit, which I'm glad, because I was worried I wouldn't be able to move it, that I would be moving like parts of the face or the hair. It does appear that we have like a little bit of like a nicked eyebrow here in the reference, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him a nicked eyebrow here as well in my version of it. And we're gonna need those claw marks also, but I think I'll do those with like what am I trying to say here? Oh, with coloring, because we'll be able to, yeah, we'll be able to add that with color. I'm gonna zoom in because it's getting kind of hard to move pieces. I'm like adjusting. This is the one benefit that like I really super appreciate over traditional art, is that when you want to scale or like just nudge something with digital, you can without having to erase and start over. It is so convenient. It is so nice to have that convenience with digital. Okay. So I'm gonna come down here and grab all these layers that I currently have, combine them, and we're gonna come back in here and we're gonna add some jewelry because this character needs some jewelry. And I want it to be the same color as the gold that we already used, so we're gonna ink drop that color. And Taro says, I love your line art style for the hair. Thank you! Ah, I'm so glad to hear it. Thanks. That makes me feel a lot better about like how I drew the hair. What was I looking for? I was looking for, I think it's in clothing. Yeah, this is where all that filigree and stuff was. We had some really nice looking patterns here that I feel sort of match the jewelry. So let me zoom in. We've got like really cool jewelry going on here that I might be able to use this pattern for. Like that's gonna come from behind the ear, and then maybe this goes like here, like around the neck. But let's see what it looks like if I add a little bit of an outline. This feels a little too low, the earring piece to me. This feels like it's in the wrong place or a little bit hanging a little bit too low. So I'm gonna do that with it. That's a little better, I think. And then back to the eyes. I think I'm gonna like do the eyes kind of like they're looking up. Sort of like they're acknowledging you, the viewer, and they're looking up and they're seeing you. Like this. Which is good. And then just like a little bit. Nah, I don't like that. If they're looking up, maybe we wouldn't see so much eyelid because they're looking upwards anyway. So maybe that's not what we need. I do kind of want to do, oops, a little bit of a drop here because there's like a little drop part for the earring in this part, and here, same thing on the necklace. So a little bit of a drop there on the necklace. I'm going to kind of push this a little bit more under the chin because we shouldn't be seeing it. There we go. Sorry, I just sneezed. Alright, I am pretty satisfied with this line art, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna center it and mark it as my reference layer. And we're gonna come in here and start adding some colors. I think it is time for color. So I'm gonna first grab the face color, come in here and try to like cover the color of the face, the neck here that would be exposed. And that's really it for like the skin that we see, because even the ankles are, he's like wearing like long socks that go up under the pant leg, so we're not gonna see that. So really the only place we see the skin, the flesh color, is on the face and neck. And so you can really just sort of leave this like that. And then grab the hair color, and we're gonna do the hair color here. It got like a little bit funny, moved around on me, but that's okay, because I'm able to just move it back around. The one thing about like this fill tool is that it does sort of create this, I don't know, I think it's called rasterization, like a little bit of these like lines that, like it fills the color all the way out past the liner, and that ends up impeding on the next color that you place in the next section. So it's a little bit trial and error, I guess, for some of these. That was weird that I did that. I did not want it to color the skin. There we go. Let's see, what other colors do we have here? This color for, actually, I think I can just use the regular fill bucket for this part. Maybe not. I thought it would kind of like just color all the way through. It did on this side, but not on this side. And then these colors for this. They're so similar, but they're like just slightly different. It's a very uniform wardrobe for sure. Let me grab just a regular pen real quick to get these harder to reach sections, so we don't end up with all those like corner pieces where the color doesn't reach, you know. Briar Rose, I'm too conscious about drawing hands to make that mistake. I already read that part. I'm sorry if I'm repeating. Sometimes I take a glance to make sure I'm not missing your guys' comments, because I want to make sure I am giving you guys feedback and I am paying full attention to what you guys are saying to the best of my ability. Every once in a while I do miss a comment, but I really try not to. I really do. So it is my hope and my goal to not miss any comments that you guys leave. All right, let's see about these scars. Where's the skin tone? It's here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a masking layer or clipping layer. Yeah, clipping layer right above the skin tone layer, so I can try and do these scars. Kind of reminds me of I think it was Leah from from Twilight, the female wolf in the werewolf pack who got like her face all scarred up. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that was a thing that happened. But we'll try to no, I think we need to just leave it the way it is. We can't like outline that because it's gonna look worse if I outline it. We'll do that, and then we'll come in here with since we're still using a clipping mask, but nope, the clipping mask won't work if I'm not over the hair layer. So if I'm gonna clip to the hair layer, which I'm gonna do, to try and bring in this color, the shading color for the hair, I gotta clip to the actual hair layer, you know, because that would help, right? How many people are working on Art Fade Attacks right now while we're live on this stream? And in the amount of time that I've been streaming, or that you've been here with me on stream, have you finished an attack already? Like, because I'm just now getting to the coloring phase of mine, and I'm always curious to see how far along other artists are in their drawings when we're drawing kind of side by side. It's just always so curious to me to kind of like see like, am I slow? Am I fast? I don't know. I need like something to gauge it with, you know? It can be kind of hard to figure that out sometimes. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. We do gotta finish coloring in the base colors though. I sort of got distracted. So let me get back to that real quick. We will continue coloring these. And I think, what's the color? That is the color of, yeah, the rest of this. Cool. And we're gonna just keep moving on down and pulling from our reference for the pant legs and for the socks. I'm gonna make sure that we get those. And obviously like the rest of the shoe as well. So everything from the thongs that go between the toes. And this might be easier to do, honestly, just with a regular pencil because this is a really thin part of the drawing. And then the shoe itself, like the wooden part of the shoe, from the platform to the sole of the shoe. I think we could still call it a sole because it still goes along the sole of the foot. Ram says, my bookmarks are empty and I don't know what kind of OCs I want to draw, put in my bookmarks so that I can work on attacks until I'm decided. I wish you luck with that, friend. Sometimes the hardest thing is a blank canvas, right? And if you're looking at an empty folder, that might carry like sort of the same anxiety or like choice paralysis. Because choice paralysis is a whole thing. Like that's for real. Choice paralysis is real, you guys. I don't know if you've experienced it, but I'm telling you, it exists. And that's what that sounds like to me. I hope that you are able to find something that piques your interest so that you're able to continue your art fight journey. I think I need to grab a little ink there for that spot. I'm pretty sure the flats are flatted. We are good on flats. Now for the, like the finishing touches, the part that makes it all come together, that makes it pop, is adding our highlights and our shadows. So I'm going to combine literally all of my layers, all of them, and then I'm going to do a masking layer on top of this now so that I can do my shading and highlighting. Keisha says, you could use the randomizer to search for random OC and attack that character. Oh, that's true. That's true. They do have that feature on the ArtPit website. And Ram said, yeah. Okay, so cool. They got the tip, and it was a good tip. I agree with that tip. All right, let's do some, not glow dodge, I meant color dodge, but let's find where that is. There we go. And see what that gives us highlight-wise for this hair color. Not bad. I think I kind of want to try this sort of highlighting technique that I think works really well with markers, and I've seen it adapted for digital by a lot of people. And I didn't really realize that this kind of like was more of a marker technique until I tried coloring with markers myself and realized that it's not like digital where you can lay your flats all over and then color your highlights when you're done. You really got to plan your highlights as you're doing it and add them as you go. You can't like come back afterwards like I'm doing right now and just sort of like pencil them in. So a lot of times for highlights, at least in the marker tutorials I've watched, it kind of looks like this. You kind of like leave these little bow tie shapes everywhere, and that becomes your highlights. So hopefully I've done a decent job with placement there. I don't know. Hopefully. Hopefully. And I'm going to put a little along the top of the head just because if this is like top lit, which is sort of my default, is just assuming everything's sort of top lit with a little ambient lighting somewhere else, then having a little light that comes from above is a good like way to add some, just a little extra pop, a little extra highlight, you know? So that's what I'm going to do. with this. Cool, I'm happy with that. I don't know what you guys think, but I like it. Bryro says my art fight username is Bryro Rose, as spelled here on YouTube. And look at the chat if you want to check that out and you're looking for somebody to attack. I always say, if you're in a live stream, an art fight live stream, the other people at the art fight live stream with you are active players. That is your cue to find active players who are attacking, who are playing, who are checking their art fight profiles. So if you draw for them, they're gonna the chances of them seeing it this year are way higher than if you draw somebody that you just find by other means on art fight, because they might be done. They might, you know, be done for the season. They might not see what you drew for them this year until next year, which have had happened before. What about you guys? Have you experienced that, where you draw something for somebody and they never comment and you're like, oh, I wonder if they saw it? Maybe I'll never know. But then like next year or like a year or two later, you get like a notification that like you have a comment and you open it up and it's somebody you drew an attack for a previous year and they're like, oh my gosh, I love it so much, thank you, I'm so sorry I'm so late responding to this. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. They finally see it and they like it. Because sometimes we're nervous, like, oh, do they like it? Sometimes we wonder and worry, like, what if this person doesn't like what I drew and they're not saying anything because they don't want to be mean? Like, we worry about that, right? I know I'm not the only person who worries about that. Other people worry about that too. And so it can be really, it can go a long way to hear from somebody that they see your drawing and that they like your drawing, because it helps with that like concern when you're like, oh, I don't know if they like it. Maybe they saw it and they hated it. And it can make you feel unsure. Yeah, feedback goes a long way. I always, if you can, I'm not like trying to force people out of their comfort zones, but if you can comfortably respond to people's attacks, please try to always give feedback, because that helps them know not only that you saw the art, but that they didn't offend you with it, that they did a decent enough job, that you gave them, you know, that you responded. So it helps. It goes a long way, y'all. If you didn't know, now you know. The art I got was beautiful too. I feel so bad, says Briar Rose. In 2023, somebody attacked me and I never revenged them. I was their only attack and they never came back. Oh no! Yeah, it can be daunting. Like I try to, that's another thing too, is like I get nervous as somebody receiving art sometimes if I don't respond fast enough. I'm like, oh, I hope that they see my reply, because I waited like a whole week and never replied, and I hope that they didn't get discouraged and quit or something, because then I'm like, oh no, what if I discouraged them? What if they felt unseen or unheard or unliked? And so I know we're sensitive souls. Artists are sensitive people. So it means a lot to us to get that feedback and to feel you know, like just kind of validated. I don't know. Sometimes we just need a little bit of reinforcement, right? Keisha, hi! Keisha's username is Cowboy Keisha. If you're still looking for somebody to tag, there's the hint hint, nudge nudge, wink wink. Keisha Cowboy, Cowboy Keisha is an active player on Artfight, just saying. There's an opportunity there, nudge nudge, wink wink, for all of my Artfight baddies who are looking for new targets, because you guys are just crushing it this year and you are ready to refill your bookmarks, your attack list, if you have an attack list. There's an actual name for that, but I don't remember like the official or the term that people are using. But when you create like a list, I don't remember what they call it. There's a word, I promise you. I'm not making this up. Like like a hit list. See, I knew what I was talking about. Some people have like actual like curated hit list, and sometimes at the beginning of Artfight, folks will like create a sign-up sheet so you can sign up to get on their hit list. So the more you know. For anybody who maybe didn't know that was a thing, some people do have hit list, and you can volunteer to get on them from time to time. I did a hit list, if not last year, then the year before, and I did mine via live stream. Actually, I had a live stream where you can find it in my live stream videos if you go back. It's like on the thumbnail, I think it says "Get on my hit list." It's like super direct and like the call out is like, you can't miss it, you know? So that year I was like, I'm gonna create a hit list before Art Fight begins so that those can be my bookmarks that I work on the first couple days when Art Fight's hard to access, the website's hard to access. So that was a strategy that I did one year. But like I said, this year's strategy is just to take it easy. My only goal this year is to make sure that I get through my revenges. That's it. That's all I'm concerned about. If I can do that, I'm gonna call it a win. Like, that is my goal for this year. That is enough for me to feel like I succeeded at my goal. Not that color. Let's see, what color do we need for this? That seems a little mild. Maybe we can go just slightly darker than that, like just a little bit. There we go. That feels a little more reasonable to me. There we go. And we'll come right under, oops, we need to pick the darker color. We'll come right under here as well. So we can show that those are kind of shadowed too. What a cutie. I think we need, now that I've got my shadows done, I'm gonna come back to highlighting because I sort of got distracted with doing shading. Yeah, I think we need some highlights, and I kind of want to switch a little bit to the airbrush for a second and see if like maybe, because the tunic's kind of a little wider, so I want to just sort of airbrush in a little bit of highlight here on the tunic to give it a gradiated effect. And you know, we could also do a little bit here on the face, just close to the eyes, just to kind of like lift the color there a little bit and bring attention, draw attention to the face a little more. And I feel like overall, maybe, just maybe, I might regret this, but I'm gonna hit this button and see what happens. I don't love that. I don't love that at all because I made one major mistake. And that is I didn't color in the whites of the eyes, and that made them look terrible. That was not good. So let's color in the white of the eyes here. Definitely did not enjoy the way that looked. I'm gonna fix that. But then we turn off this and we grab literally all my layers so that I can move this character up again, because I noticed that again we're not entirely center. Although I wasn't far off, I'm really not. I guess that's kind of as close as it's gonna get to being centered here. I really used like the whole canvas, but I sort of want to see. So we've got like this sticker effect now. I put like this white sticker around him, but we're not gonna see it if the paper is white. So we're gonna have to change the color of the background. And I don't know, let's try this peachy color first, just to see what we get. Okay. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's keep going until we find the right color. That's not it either. Oh, gross, definitely not. That's slightly better, and I do mean slightly. I'm also realizing that I think doing yeah, I think for the sticker, the 2 was too strong. Maybe like the 1 instead. Let's do the 1 instead of the 2. And then when we do this, like, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better about that, because before, like, the white outline was really touching the edges of the canvas, and it just, I don't like that. I don't want it to look like it's running off the page. So, and also I just kind of, I don't know how I'm feeling about this blue, but I also didn't like the other colors. So maybe we'll just stick with the blue for a second and let it marinate. Starlit Blossom, hello and welcome to the stream. I am glad that you have joined us here. We are just finishing up our first revenge for today. At least my first revenge for today. I'm curious to know how your art fight is going. What number are you on? Are you making like headway? Do you feel like you're falling behind? Because falling behind, nobody's really falling behind. It's all self-imposed, right? Like all of our expectations are self-made expectations. So there's no technical falling behind, not really. But do you feel like maybe you're falling behind? Because I was talking earlier about how I feel like I'm falling behind. But really it's all, it's all up to us. We create our own expectations, our own self-made goals, so it's on us how we feel and whether or not we perceive it that way. Let's see, I'm really happy with those highlights. I just kind of wish, and I think what I'm going to do here is try to do just a tiny bit of like a hatching, if I can find one that's not just obnoxiously overwhelming, like just a nice gentle hatching, cross hatching look that's not gonna just like be too much, because I kind of want to just add like a little bit. And that's too much. And I really only wanted it for the tunic, so I'm going to erase it anywhere it crossed over any other materials, including the sash around the middle, because I don't want it there. I really just want it just to add a little texture, because it felt a little bit bland to me, a little tiny bit. So I just wanted to add a tiny, tiny, tiny touch of texture. Or not bland, I shouldn't say bland. That's definitely not the word I was looking for. I felt like it was a little bit too smooth, and some texture would add just a little, break it up a little bit, so it's not so smooth. I wonder if I did this a different color, how it would look. Like if I just come through here and I change the color a little bit, what that would do. The music's like in between songs. Oh, I did notice from making it darker that I can see where it's still overlapping other materials that I don't want it overlapping. Okay, cool. And now I will go back to making it like just a little bit lighter color, like this. I think I am happy with this. Yeah, I'm satisfied. I think he looks good. The only thing that I really want to add, just real quick, this teensy weensy little extra, is just a small bit of highlight on the pant legs, because they look like I kind of neglected them. There we go. What do you guys think? Does this do the character justice? And speaking of character, maybe mine looks a little shorter. I don't know. Cam's is like super, super tall. And then I've got, the proportions on mine are a little bit more cute. They're a little more cartoony, perhaps. Probably because I made the head bigger at the last second, because it's like, I want the head to be bigger. And so I did. I scaled it up on my sketch. But I'm going to go ahead and export this now and get this submitted, and that will be one less revenge that I owe, which means I am making headway this morning, and that is goals. How are you guys doing? Have you finished any of your attacks so far today? or are you still working on them, or are you waiting to work on them when you get done with your standard IRL, real life obligations and responsibilities? I'm gonna pull this window down here. We're gonna go ahead and submit this while I wait to hear about your answers there. So we're gonna do an attack. We're gonna call this one Revenge is Sweet. I don't know why, that's what we're gonna do. Surprise, which it won't be a surprise. I bet you didn't know, you do, because you're here, that I drew this live on stream. Winky face, because you know better. I hope you like my revenge, and thanks again for attacking in the first place. And we're gonna go ahead and make this a full body because it is a full body, and always remember to click this button. I forgot once already this year, and after 9 years you'd think I would never forget this again, but sometimes I do. Always remember, if you're revenging, to click Find Revenge, because otherwise you're not creating that chain. And I think you do get a little bit of a point bonus if you're doing a revenge chain. I could be wrong. They could have gotten rid of that from previous years when that used to be true, if it's not anymore. Or if it is still true, then just know that you could benefit by making sure that you link your revenge chains. So we're going to do that. We're going to come down here and choose the file. And it was right here. I don't have a thumbnail made for this yet, so I'll have to update that later with the little thumbnail border. Clean color, fully shaded, no background. I was able to do this in 1 hour, so I'm not going to put extra time, because normally, like, 1 hour is pretty standard for me. If it's 2 hours or more, I might put polish. But this one, and this is the attack they did for me, by the way. This one being an hour to make, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. I'm not going to count that as polished because I didn't spend extra time. For me, it's not considered, not what I would consider extra time on it. All right, I'm so happy with this. Honestly, I'm really glad personally that I went with this highlight style. It's hitting a chord for me, and I'm really happy with it. And I hope you guys like it too. Yeah, there we go. Keisha says, I'm finishing my bookmarks slowly. I haven't looked at my bookmarks since day one, I think. I think I did do bookmarks for the first 2 days, and I think I snuck one more bookmark in. Actually, my last revenge, ironically, was also technically one of my bookmarks. So I don't know if Just a Goob knows this, but I had already bookmarked this character because I just thought it was cute. I don't know, there was something about it. I think I liked the kind of geometrical shape of this. It's not how I ended up drawing it in the end. I didn't end up leaning into the geometry, but for some reason this reference photo with the geometric head was like just itching my brain, and I was like, I want to draw this, and so I bookmarked it. And then Just a Goob attacked me first, so they gave me an excuse. See, they attacked me first with this 2 sides of a gear, this double drawing of Caitlin, by the way, which is so over the top in a great way. I really, really love it. I almost feel like I didn't do their revenge justice. Like, I should have done more than draw Meatball, because Meatball is like a bird, and they drew a whole person twice. But I don't know, it was in my bookmarks, and I was like, yes, now I have a reason to go back to my bookmarks and draw a character that I was saving. And so I did. And I drew Meatball. I don't know why I drew them this way. Just the references I was looking at, I guess. Like, this is what I went with. This is kind of the direction it took me. And I was also trying to, if we look at the post again for this character, and I'm going to zoom back in so we can look at the words down here. It said it's a combination of a feathered dragon and a nightjar bird. And I was like Googling nightjar birds. I had like 4 tabs open just with photo references of the actual real bird, the nightjar birds. And so I think my illustration got a little just kind of mixed, really, between everything that I was trying to take in. And I was trying to take in references from Pinterest on how to draw birds. I was trying to take in photos of the real birds, the real nightjar birds. Yeah, nightjar birds. And I was looking at Meatball's OC reference, this, and trying to be like, okay, well, the nightjar's not green. This one's solid green. The nightjar's like a myriad of browns and grays, and I don't know. I was like overwhelmed, but I still finished it, and I was like, I did it. I did the thing, and I got to knock out two birds with one stone, pun intended, because this not only was a revenge, but it was also a bookmark. So I was really happy about that. Was that yesterday? That was 2 days ago. I don't think I submitted any attacks yesterday. I'm telling you guys, I am just struggling to stay on top of Art Fight this year, but I'm not giving up, and I hope that you guys won't give up either. It seems like you're not. Since you're here, you're not giving up. You guys are still giving your time, attention, and your artistic practice to Art Fight. I am very proud of you. I love that you're still here, that you're still going strong, and we are halfway there. Don't forget to celebrate hitting the halfway mark. You are halfway through Art Fight. That is an achievement already. You've made it the first 15 days. We have 15 left to go. I wonder, let's take a look at the front page real quick because I want to see what the percentiles are. 50.02 to 49.98. So it's almost an exact 50-50 split. It's going to be a close one this year. I definitely feel like trying to predict a winner at this point is going to be any man's game, anyone's best guess. It's been a 50-50 split almost every step of the way so far this year. And so we're neck and neck. I don't know who's going to win. I can't tell. It's not obvious yet. It's a pretty even playing field, which I love for us. Bryro says my bookmarks have probably over 1,000 characters. I don't know how people can resist bookmarking every character they see. I have been slowly getting through mine for literal years. Unfortunately, I did have to clean out when I was busy sorting them because of this new option that they gave us to create folders, which I love. I ended up having to clean out a lot of bookmarks that had been archived or deleted. So a lot of characters that I've bookmarked for years, the creators no longer wanted art attacks of those, I guess, so they archived them or they deleted them, and so I ended up actually losing a ton of bookmarks that way. But now it's a little bit more manageable. I've got 8 simple shapes, 6 anthro, 2 mecha, 9 animals, 7 D&D characters, 7 monsters. Overwhelmingly, I bookmark humanoids just because that's what I like to draw, and so when I see a really good humanoid character, I'm more likely to bookmark it. So I have 48 of those. I don't think my bookmarks are too bad. I think I've kept it probably under 100. I mean, it was definitely over 100 before I cleaned out all of the archived and deleted characters, but now it's under 100, and I think that feels super manageable. But honestly, I've got to get my revenges first. I have to prioritize that. I really want to focus on getting back to all of these people who gave to me, so I want to make sure that I do that before I even think about bookmarks again. Keisha is finishing their bookmarks, but slowly. Understandable. It will take me years probably to finish my bookmarks, if I ever actually get through them. Because they're just low priority. I start with them just so that I have a chance to do some bookmarks before the game really gets into full swing. But they always end up taking a back seat at a certain turning point in the game, and I focus more on active players who are engaging with me so that I make sure that I'm giving back. All right, that said, I know it's a really short stream. We only did an hour and 15 minutes, but I get tired. I get tired of trying to keep up a conversation so that there's not really dead air while I'm streaming. I had really a lot of fun talking to you guys as I worked through the process of drawing this revenge. I feel really warmed up. I hope you guys do too. So I'm gonna hopefully get a couple more knocked out today before I take another break, but I'm gonna do those off stream. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We will obviously be back. This isn't the last stream of this season. I will be doing more art fight streams coming up here again soon. So just keep an eye out for those to post on my page. I always launch them a few days early so that you kind of know what's coming. But you got to be subscribed. If you want to see those, you got to make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can join me for the next art fight stream. Let me be your hype man. I can be in your ear. You can listen to me while you draw, and I can totally pump you up. Talk about art fights so that you can feel like you're doing it as a community with the community and all of those wonderful, wonderful things. That's why we love doing this together. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!